Good morning, YouTube. It's another perfect morning in God's country. The sun has not even poked its head through the vanishing point yet and is not heading my way yet, although I'm sure it's working on it. Some of you feller Canadians over there across the big lake might have a little sunshine on you right now. Maybe the New Yorkers or the East Coasters, I don't know. But here I am sitting out on an island in the middle of the big lake, Gitchagumi. Well, I'm not in the middle, but sort of jutting way out. On the United States side in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, out here on the big lake Gitchagumi, where it's been raining for about 24 hours straight. But it's still another perfect day in God's country, y'all. I got a Marlboro going. I got a cup of coffee going. And all the way down to the tips of my nicotine-stained fingers, I'm resonating with truth this morning. And I have just a few kind of shout-outs. And, I always am telling you guys I need to do like a comment of the week or a comment of the month episode. Well, this one's going to be really unusual. This is Lucky Haskins' comment of the week, episode number 2. And this one's unusual because the comment was, "Hey, Lucky, I gave you a shout out on my channel." And this comment came from a fella by the name of Tommy Rodgers, who, I think I've seen around type of thing. I say seen him around. I never knew what the dude looked like or anything. But, he said, "Hey, I gave you a shout out on my video." Well, we all know between us smaller channels and stuff, if somebody leaves you a comment, says, "Hey, I gave you a shout out on my video," well, they probably want you to go watch that video. And, we kind of want to go watch it and see, hey, they give me a shout out. That's pretty cool. Let's go check it out. So, of course, Tommy leaves a comment. This is why it's the comment of the week. Tommy Rodgers leaves a comment. "Hey, Lucky, good job, man. I gave you a shout out." Okay, cool. So I got to go, well, let's go see how Tommy's getting on. Let's head over to his site, see what he's all about. So, I'm going to watch some more of his stuff, by the way. I've watched, 2 or 3 of his videos now, but I watched that recent one, Tommy. Good little rant there. I dig it. I'm gonna try to say a few things about it. First and foremost, huge shout out to you, Tommy Rodgers, for nailing it. Home run. I'm gonna get to that in a second. I need some coffee and Marlboro. I'm trying to talk too fast this morning. Let's get this party started. Ain't nothing but party, y'all. Another day that ends with a Y. Let's do this. All right, Tommy Rodgers. Big time dig what's on your mind, brother. Just a quick little 7-minute rant you gave or something in between the shout outs and whatnot. Home runs, my man. Especially, okay, first of all, yes, it's a clown show. Yes, the internet, YouTube, has become a clown show. The whole thing, it's a clown show. I am right there with you, bro. I'm spending a lot less time on the internet, pretty selective in what I watch. I'm going to, once again, quick shout out Dave Kane, Sovereign Soul, Tommy Rodgers. I don't know if you're familiar with the Sovereign Soul Hangout. Very cool, old school hangout, right? No drama, seemingly no agenda. Dave likes to have like 4 to 6 hour live streams a couple times a week. If you're not sub to him, Tommy, you might find a lot of cool people hanging out there. Seemingly no agenda, pretty loosely based, usually around the flat earth, but since it's a 4 to 6 hour conversation, can kind of go anywhere. Anyone in the chat is usually welcome to click the link and jump on the panel. So you often have 4 to 6 pretty low-key cats or fellas, guys and gals on the panel, which is very cool. If, I don't really know the protocol, but me personally, Dave has made me feel very welcome there. So anytime I'm hanging out, I always feel like if I want to go on, I can just click the link and pop up. And every time I've done that, he's let me on the show and I chat away. The reason I'm bringing that up, Tommy, is because it's just a good hangout without all the drama. If you're ever bored and just want to hang out with like-minded people, usually a pretty good chat. and some flat earth conversation going on. Sometimes it gets a little heated, or there'll be a Globey on there or whatever, so but it's one of them places where I can just kind of stop in, hang for a while. I usually don't have 4 to 6 hours, but hang in, say hello to everybody, etc., etc. So a little shout out to Dave there. Tommy, if you're looking for cool, smooth places to hang out, where we pretty much know it's not socially social engineering, you know. Dave's like me, he ain't making no bread, right? So it's the same kind of thing, Tommy. But here's the deal, Tommy. You said something very important. I've touched on this a few times over the years, never really elaborated. When I started watching your video, Tommy, and started listening to you talk, when you said this, first of all, I was already like, yeah, this dude's on. It's a clown show, this and that. I heard you saying, this is basically like being in hell and la da 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 da. I'm going to get to that too. Um, when you said, hey, these books, and threw them back down, boom, 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 ding, 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 ding. Lucky's like, yeah, you're on it, my man. It's funny, you over there in Toronto, I'm over here in Michigan. We've seemingly never talked to each other, Tommy. But man, you want to talk about headspace. This is what I always talk about the truth coming from within, right? When you resonate in the truth, and old Lucky resonates all the way down to the tips of my nicotine-stained fingers, straight down to my grass-stained toenails with truth, if I can. But Tommy, excellent, excellent point of how to critical thought, thinking for yourself. And when you truly walk in truth and you resonate in truth, the truth is all around you. You don't need, kills me listening to all these outsiders or normies going, you don't get truth from a YouTube video. You guys are so dumb. Science is not a YouTube video. Right? Because we all have channels, so they assume that, the flat earth movement is because of the internet. Nope, it just got picked back up because of the internet. We can communicate. But Tommy, books. Tommy, I'm trying to stay on point here. Lucky can go all over the map, man. Huge shout out, Tommy. Absolutely on point. Books. I did an episode quite a while ago about this house I bought. The guy. I'll try to keep this short. The guy that I bought it from, clearly a Freemason. He was an ex-Marine. He was a member of a secret society that I had never heard of. I found all this information out by going through his old library, which was left intact in the home that I bought. I could tell you side stories about that. The people that sold me the house came back for some books. Very weird, like almost in a panic. And they had told me I could have everything. And then I get a call like 3 months later. We really want to come back for some of those books from the library. And I said, okay. And they just came in, and man, it was like they knew what they were looking for. And they just pulled selected books, put them in tubs, and they were gone. And I kind of always questioned myself for letting them do that, right? Because when we closed the deal, they're like, you can have everything in the house. And the library was fascinating. But anyway, he was in a secret society called the Ancient and Secret Society of the Gum Beaters. And man, I found this poster that he had tucked in one of his books. And I mean, you want to talk about creepy. These dudes, the poster says it all. You can probably, I think I did a scan years ago and found one of these posters for sale on eBay. So I was able to see a picture of it. I have one of these posters here at home. I should maybe take pictures of it and show you guys. But try doing a Google search for type in the Ancient and Secret Society of the Gum Beaters. One of the most hidden secret societies you'll ever hear of. You can hardly find anything about them. But you may be able to find a copy of that poster online. Maybe. So, what was this guy's profession after he got out of the military? He got a degree in the library sciences, and he was a librarian at a university. Now, the reason I pointed that out early in the life of this channel, by the way, somebody chimed in on one of my videos like a year ago, the ultimate television. I don't know if it's supposed to be a shot at me or whatever, but it says like 1 year flatty equals lucky, because he went to a video I made a year ago. Not sure what he means by that, but yeah, my channel was started in January of 2022. I don't need to elaborate how long I've been around the truth community, because so many of you that have been around for a long time remember me. because I've always been around the truth community and always been in the chats, particularly around the flat earth community. So the old guard and the old veterans remember me, Lucky Haskins, from 2015, 2016, all the way through till today. So Ultimate Television, nice try. We don't pay much attention to you guys anymore. If that, I thought, I don't know. I don't know if it was a slam or not, or whatever. But either way, yes, my channel's about a year and a half years old. Um, man, I lost my train of thought. Books. So this dude was in a library, was a librarian at a university degree. He had a library sciences or something. It was called his degree, and he was in an ex-marine and in a secret society called the Ancient and Secret Society of the Gum Beaters. Now this dude had symbolism everywhere, and of course the house was a red brick house, 933 Snow Hill Road. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on. Um, I could go on and on how he changed the 183 acres to 133 acres, and it was literally listed on page 666 in the plat book, which was incredibly strange to me. Literally, I seen it with my own two eyes. I don't talk about this stuff because people, man, Lucky making shit up. No, I'm not. And ironically, I was living in that house when I became a flat earther. I was already wide awake to many, many things, but I really truly woke up while living in that house. So many bizarre things happened in that house and surrounding that house. But I don't want to get too deep into that. But library sciences, what I'm trying to point out here is that they do have their mechanisms in place to control the literature, particularly when it comes to the really strong sources of information like the libraries at the universities and major libraries, and probably all libraries. Okay, so you can take it to the bank that the internet is every bit as controlled as the libraries always were. Now, back to Tommy Rodgers saying the books. Amen, brother. Thank you for absolutely hitting it on the head. Books, 100%. No different than the television, no different than the internet, no different than music, folks. All of it owned and controlled. All of it. Now, again, man, you can take it right back to the publishing companies. You don't just make a movie and it's out, you don't just write a book and it's out there, right? I mean, we know people that do this and they don't sell millions of copies, right? Their books don't get widely distributed. I mean, right? Matt from Quantum of Conscience wrote a book, right? I think. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, right? Archaics has wrote some books. They're published. I don't know. Maybe they're doing okay. I don't know. Books, does Lucky trust them? Not a bit. It's all owned and controlled. I remember getting a book for Christmas because, my family knows I'm a truther. They tried talking me out of it, of course, although they've gotten over that. But a few years ago, I got a book from my dad for Christmas called The Truth, How to Recognize the Truth or something. It was this book. Bought it at a bookstore. I researched everything, who published it, found their connections instantly, where it came from. It's tied into the largest publishing company in the world. I click on their website, and right on the main page, it says, Dismantling Democracy, Our First Step. I mean, this is on their main page of the website of the publishing company that I traced this book back. It's called Truth. Right? He's wanting me to know that we can really find truth if we're willing to read books and listen to the news. I mean, for real. Chapter 1 of this book, it says, we must all agree on a truth, because it's talking about how dangerous in society it is that suddenly people don't agree on everything, which we all know is by design, if you understand what they're doing. By design, that we all disagree on everything. We're all falling in the trap, just like Tommy was trying to point out. It's the other little tidbit there, Tommy. Right? I mean, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We're all on the internet bickering. Okay. That was their plan. Give me a fucking break. I'm glad you can see it too, Tommy. Books, throw them all away, folks. Burn them. It's nonsense. I'm not saying you shouldn't read them, but you better have discernment. He pointed out our man Archaics. Now, I enjoy some of Archaics' work. I listen to him once in a while, but I did take note. As all truthers, we have to use discernment. Okay, I did take note of Archaic's claim, which is I've read all these books while I was in prison. Now, Lucky took note right away that when he got out of prison, he wasn't even aware that the earth was flat. Now, do you get this, folks? Why? Because he's getting all of his information from published books. So he's put together these incredible timelines based on published books. Now, this may sound really crazy to all of y'all, but I don't see any reason that we should believe that any book was published before 1900 or even 1902. Any of them. We don't look far enough as to how they run the tricks in this clown world. We literally are not digging deep enough. It's as we move forward, we keep realizing, wow, these fuckers are parasitical bastards. Well, they're worse than we think, folks. So, do you think they've fired up publishing companies that can make books that look old and blah blah blah, weather them, like Fender making Strat relics or whatever? Think they do that in books? I don't know, folks, but one thing we can take to the bank is that they own and control all information, and they always have, and that includes your books. So, comment of the week, Tommy, my man Tommy Rodgers. Everybody, go find Tommy Rodgers' channel. Get over there, Tommy. Leave a comment under this so people can click on your comment and head to your channel, bro. Tommy, friend of the truth, one of our Canadian brothers. Dig the hair, man. Still rocking the 1982 Rod Stewart hairdo. Love it, my brother. Don't you go a changing, my man. Like Lucky, I'm still stuck in 1979, bro. I don't want to leave either. I'm more like stuck in like 1984 or something. That's about where I'm hanging, I guess. I'm stuck around 1984 and I don't want to leave, man, Fuck it, I want to go see David Lee Roth fronting Van Halen one last time. I'm only serious, y'all. Shout out Tommy Rodgers, comment of the week. Absolutely, y'all. Books owned and controlled, publishing companies bought and paid for. Come on, man. Get it together, Truth Community. I want to bring up one other point, Tommy. Is this hell? Does it suck? When I first started this channel, my intention was to make very short videos. There was two things. I wanted to poke people with the truth, give them a little short 2-minute clip that they were willing to sit through and just make them think, say something real brief and try to make them think and go, yeah, that's kind of odd. And the second thing that I wanted to do was put smiles on people's face, because I seen way too much negativity in the truth community and just people suffering all the way around, and how much it can really hurt people to find out how much this world, the clown show is, and how much we've all been deceived. And several people along my path have asked me, why are you so happy all the time, man, knowing all this shit and knowing how evil these people are, and that we're basically living in this slave system on the prison planet. I would say, Tommy, man, you and I are kind of kindred souls, right? We got to be pretty, we're similar in many ways, I would say. Doesn't take rocket science. It ain't rocket science. Sky's the limit. Right? It ain't rocket science, Tommy. Me and you are cut from a similar cloth, right? Despite our being from different countries and la-da-da-da-da-da-da. Here's the deal, man. Humans always need a mission, brother. I think that might be one of the things we see in the truth community. Just the truth community cannot be your mission, y'all. It's not enough. Humans need a mission. One of the way Lucky's always kept a smile on my face is by I'm always going after something, You guys see me talk about my old cool plow trucks, my cars, my classic cars, flipping houses. I just started a gumball company recently, which is insanely gutsy. Okay, I got I'm getting ready to go put my 33rd machine in. I know, here everybody goes. RV Truth's gonna be like, see, look, I told you Lucky was owned and controlled. I literally am. I got 32, not my 32nd machine, my 33rd location is getting ready to go in today. I have getting close to 65 or 66 machines, maybe even 70 now. I don't know, because I have like 64 on site or something, and I've got, well, yeah, I probably have over 70 machines now. So I got some in the house that are, working their way out of the house. and I got my seasonal accounts are wrapping up for the summer, so I got more machines coming in. So in a month or two, I'll have 40 or 45 accounts, hopefully. But it's one of my personal ways to fight several things. Okay, COVID, absolutely devastating to the kids' lives. So I'm like, I'm putting gumball machines out. They can get their greasy paws all over those knobs, put quarters in, touch everybody's germs, and get a gosh darn gumball and be a kid. Okay. So I liked the idea right away. And I'm like, I'm going to try this. You know what? Fuck COVID. Right. And then the other thing is my way of personally fighting against the cashless society that they're pushing. And I got to tell you, folks, I'm already seeing results. Now, listen to me. And I tell my clients this. I go, hey, they want this cashless society because all the cash is going to filter right to the top, the ruling class elite. All the small business owners up here get it. Believe me, they've all been screwed over for years. I don't have to state my case to tell them they're being ripped off. I mean, everybody gets it, right? So I talk to these, business owners that become my clients, and I say, listen, man, they want this cashless society. Well, all that cash just filters right into your computer and goes right overseas or goes right to the ruling class elite, right? Goes through Walmart, through your bank, la da 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 da. I said, well, hey, we live in a tourist community up here. I said, every one of these tourists says, let's get some quarters out of their dang pocket and we'll keep them up here, right? Strengthen our own community. And all my clients dig that. They're like, hey, yeah, it's a small, okay, that's small. I'm talking about quarters, but I'm doing something about it. You get it? So people are listening to me when I tell them, I'm like, hey, I'm only one man, but I'm doing something about it. So when the tourists come up here, let's get some of these quarters out of their pockets on their way out the door. Let's keep them up here. Well, guess what, folks? It's working. A lot of my clients now, when I go collect my quarters, they buy the quarters from me. Why? Because of my gumball machines being there. People are buying quarters from them to buy gumballs. They're walking up, hey, you got any quarters? The kids are all going, Mom, I want a gumball. They might even buy them quarters on their credit card because they ain't got no cash. You get it? So, Lucky's always on a mission, Tommy. And it always makes me smile. Successes as a human make you smile. It's not about the cash, okay? We all got to survive. Ain't about the money, man. Ain't about the cash. It's about achievement. It's about making goals and meeting them, meeting people every day. And of course, man, I know this is hard for people. I don't cruise around talking truth when I'm out doing this, although I got to say it's coming at me a lot. And of course, I engage. People realize right away, like, whoa, there's a lot of people waking up to the truth, right? So, they go, I'm not so sure about COVID. I don't go, the earth's flat, man. Right? But I engage lightly and I judge people. So that's an interesting twist in our modern society. The truth is starting to come at me. My neighbor telling me NASA's obviously fake, right? My new bartender who's from here originally telling me in Romania, everybody's walking around talking about flat earth. Okay. I mean, which he verified. I learned that on the internet and he verified it for me. So, things are changing. They're changing fast. But Tommy, that's my advice. How do we survive the hell? We don't let it be hell, man. You don't let it be hell. You make your own ride. And I know you do that, Tommy. I'm not saying this directly to you. I'm saying this to, as a response to you, to your interjecting your thoughts and whatnot, which I don't disagree with, man. What a rough ride. And you gotta be fucking tough as nails. Look, man, I'm feeding my wife and my son, my 10-year-old son, taking care of the house. And yes, Tommy, I'm one of them guys. I own my house free and clear. I own my vehicles free and clear. I don't make payments on any of that stuff. And it's still tough to get by. Paying my taxes, all my utilities, my propane has gone through the roof. Keeping this house heated all winter is outrageously expensive. On and on and on and on. $4 a gallon for gas. I'm driving around in my Lincoln Town Car. And then the SUV. Ironically, the little Nissan SUV gets around 12 to 14 miles a gallon. My town car gets almost 26, so I guess I'm doing all right. But you get it, man. You got to be a tough sumbitch to survive in this new economy, man. And it's always been pretty easy for Lucky to survive. Not so much. Now, don't forget, I'm living in the middle of nowhere too, man. There's a lot less bread to be made up here, but I got no complaints, folks. Grateful, thankful, getting by. Every day's a new day. But little of my intuition, I don't know what you call it. I don't want to say advice, Tommy. You're a grown man. You got your big boy pants on. I can see you get up and do your thing every day. But to anybody that is really feeling down and lost in the cesspool of the internet and the creepy clown world, I can't tell you enough, man. Turn the internet off and get out there, man, and give yourself a mission. Give yourself some tough goals. Go grab something, man. Go make something happen. Whatever it is, man. Start a side hustle. Never feel guilty about making the rich man's bread, because you need it to feed your family. You need it to survive. It's cool to be a rebel, man. There's right ways to be a rebel, I should say. Shouldn't say it's cool to be a rebel. It's fucking hard, man. They'll come after you on every chance they get. But it doesn't mean you got to live in a box under a bridge, man. You got to hustle, and if you hustle doing something you enjoy and something you love and something you come up with, it's you're earning it yourself, and that's how I believe it's supposed to work. A man will reap what he sows. So I guess what I'm trying to say in a nutshell, to keep a smile on my face, I'm always sowing seeds, man. Get to sowing seeds, y'all. Like the creator told you to. If you're not finding a smile on your face, you're not sowing enough seeds. Maybe I should just have summed it up that way, right? Sow some new seeds, y'all, and you'll grow that smile. How's that? That's why I should have just stuck to my original plan, a moment of truth. Hey, y'all, want to put a smile on your face? Sow them seeds. You will reap what you sow. That's a moment of truth. That's all I had to say this morning. Shout out Tommy Rodgers for putting those thoughts in my head, brother. Books, you are spot on. I can't tell you where the best source of information is for anybody that's serious about truth. The best source of information? Yourself. That's what makes a truther. Okay? You have a brain. You have a divine spark, and it's connected to your brain. Use them both. Get her done. That's your best source of information, yourself. With all that said, there were some other things I was going to say, but I think I'm going to leave it at that. Just a great big shout out to my new friend, Tommy Rodgers, and absolutely wanted to repeat to my audience what he said about books. Absolutely. Come on, y'all. 100%. Radio, television, books, internet, it's all owned and controlled. Ask yourself, who can I help today? Most importantly, stay true, y'all.